Okay, we're good to go. And I am in the study.
Awesome. Well, we've talked about time management, and yeah, I know it's important for you uh, to hit high peaks in every one of your ratings. I mean, it's one of the themes in your channel. um, and well, I've taken a look basically at your games, at your rapid games, and some blitz games. I was going to propose that we go through some of them, especially seeing the way you allocate to each move, basically, and see if we can find patterns. I think there are some. I mean, which you're familiar with, but it's important to point this out and see how can we do to at least reduce the time you're spending on some of your decisions. Even small changes in this can mean a huge difference at times. Well, you had told me about problems especially with the 10-minute games. Is that correct?
Yeah, because that's the only time I play without increment. Yeah.
Yeah, Blitz you play 3+2. I saw.
Yeah.
The
I don't.
patterns are kind of similar in the sense of what happens, but
Yeah, I really don't play too much blitz. It's
oh, sorry, yeah.
yeah. There's a slight delay between us. A slight lag between us. So sometimes I overlap when you're talking. But yeah, I don't play too much blitz. I play it just on occasion, just to see if I can get a new personal best. But I try to avoid blitz and especially bullet as much as I can.
Yeah, I saw that your last game was from like 3 weeks ago. Yeah, easily. Um, and yeah, it's a matter of adaptation to each time control. I'm glad to see that in general, in longer time controls, you are a bit more comfortable with time, and you're not getting into huge time trouble. Maybe, if you do, you're still able to use the increment quite okay. um, well, let's see what happened these 10-minute games.
Okay.
So e4, d5, it takes d, well played instantly, more or less. Queen a5, d4. Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say, do you remember when this game was played? I guess I'll check here. Oh, on the ninth.
Some of them
Oh,
are.
few days ago. Okay.
Yeah, this. Oh, I thought. Yeah, some of them are a few days ago. I didn't go back that
Okay.
much.
Okay.
Like a couple of weeks at most.
Okay.
3 weeks, I think, was the oldest one. um, so c6, knight f3. I do see that you play the opening quickly because, well, your opening knowledge is normally quite good. You spent some time on this one. I mean,
Yeah.
like 20 seconds for bishop c4.
I was trying to remember. I know it really doesn't matter, and they often transpose, but bishop d2, bishop c4, I know they're about equally good, but I was trying to remember exactly which I have in my repertoire. Yeah, that's why I spent time there.
But you consciously limited yourself, I guess, to, well, not spending too much time in this one. Is that so? It's like you end up deciding rather quickly.
Yeah, well, I did know that they were equal in their eval, and again, they do tend to transpose. So I didn't. It didn't make sense to spend more time on it than I did. Yeah.
Cool. That's what I want to hear. Yeah, you spend some seconds on it, and yeah, if you don't see any immediate difference and you don't remember anything in particular, just play it. Good. Bishop g4, h3. I play quite quickly, anyways. I mean, yeah, this leaks time a lot, like 10 seconds each move. I mean, I know it's not a lot necessarily, but if it's a move that you already know you will play, like bishop d2 here, probably just play it. I mean, you were going for this system anyways, weren't you?
Well, because
I know it might not. Yeah.
Well, I was trying to remember if I want G4 first, which even looking at it now, I can't remember if G4 first. I think G4 first is. I don't know. They probably still transpose, but that's what I was thinking. Kind of what I'm thinking now. If I want G4, Bishop D2. Yeah.
Difference could be something like Queen. Well, I don't think so. Like Queen B4. Sorry. I'm thinking about Queen B4, Bishop B3, and taking here to win the pawn, even though it looks crazy. I mean, it looks way too risky. Trying to grab the pawn on D4. If anything, because you get the bishop pair and you development sped up a lot, like Queen B4, Bishop B3. And to win the pawn, Black has to take here, but this looks like enormous compensation. I guess Black should be in terrible shape here. If Queen B4 is not an issue, you can definitely play just Bishop D2 and it should be okay. So Knight BD7. Still, you only spent a minute on the first 8 moves, but yeah, you have to consider that these are the moves that you play almost instantly. You castle. You see, I mean, you're not using that much time, but still it's like it leaks. It's just a few seconds here and there. It's 20 seconds to castle or more.
Well, because I was really looking at G4 again, because it's so thematic in this setup. But since Black played Knight BD7, I can't follow up with Knight E5. So that's what I was thinking about. Because this is really, these positions are generally very, very good for white, like over +1. It's like plus 1.3 or something. And often there's that maneuver of G4, Bishop G6, Knight E5, and then Knight C4. And then you chase out Black's queen, and you have a ton of control over the whole board. But yeah, that Knight D7 kind of made me ponder. Plus, I think I was also looking at discoveries then. So I was looking at Knight D5, Knight E4. So that's, yeah, so that all took a bit of time from me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also Queen E2. I don't know if you consider doing something like this.
No, I didn't consider that. It was really between I was looking at G4, and then I was looking at like Knight E5, or even ways on how I could exploit that pin or that discovery, I mean.
Yeah, this is, I mean, you're losing sometimes here, but it's still within reason, I think. Bishop E7, and now some time to play this, but it's a very strong move. I mean, you're getting the dark square bishop anyways. He should have gone back at some point. I don't know. What I do know about this line is that at times you just part with the dark square bishop. I don't know if it's the case here, but sometimes you kind of have to, or you have to move the queen out of A5. But yeah, here you got an excellent position. You took 7 seconds. I mean, it's something that you can do immediately almost, because there's you're clearly getting the bishop pair and dark square bishop, but still not too important. You went back after some thought.
I don't know. I hate being pinned, and I wanted I wanted Knight E5, because kind of a nice setup is the queen on E2 and a knight on E5, that type of setup. And I don't know, the pin kind of bothered me, and since I've castled kingside, I didn't really, I was a bit hesitant to play G4 here. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's sound. It's not a big issue. And your advantage is more or less stable, so it's not a big problem. So he castled, you play Knight E5, and you got a great position out of this. He took everything. Yeah, you don't have the bishop pair, but you have a bishop that's clearly better than his knight and a space advantage. So yeah, this looks promising. In fact, he goes to d5. I'm not even sure if he should. He should maybe go back to d7 because you're gonna kick him around. Like c4, knight b6. B6 is horrible for the knight. It doesn't get worse than this. It's completely dominated. B3, but there are many moves here that are just kind of instant, but you still don't play them instantly. At least they should be played very quickly in a 10-minute game. Like c4 followed by b3, if knight b6. This is something you have to play immediately. 14 seconds. I know. It sounds like I'm picking here, but 14 seconds for a move like c4 is a lot. I mean, are you even going to play something else here?
Well, okay, because I've got two Alessandros. I've got on my shoulder. I've got the one Alessandro right now saying like, play quicker. The move doesn't matter. That's like the I don't know. That's the, you could call it like the angel Alessandro, and then you got the other one, the devil, and he's saying, Tyler, be careful, but you have to consider the positional aspects of the game. And you, so I was concerned about like long-term static weaknesses, which maybe is not a good time management.
Overextending.
Yeah, I know it's hard. I try to play so perfect every move.
Yeah, you're not going to leave that knight live on d5 anyways. I mean,
well, how long did I spend on those two moves, c4 and
one
b3?
thing on c4 you spend 14 seconds, and after knight b6 you spend 12 seconds on playing b3, which is kind of a natural follow-up that feels like you're going to play this anyway.
Isn't that fast though? Is that really slow? For me, that's so fast.
It's just because of the character of the move. I mean, these moves are almost instant. Here, it's kind of clear that you're not going to let this knight live on d5. I mean, you need to push it back. Knights are effective when they are in there and well supported. So if you can kick it back and win some space in the process while restricting the poor beast, you will just kick it out. And then b3, well, defending the pawn and freeing your queen from the defense. And it goes on because it doesn't sound like much when you consider each move individually. But here after rook a8, you spent an awful lot of time with rook a1. So it's like in 3 or 4 moves, you spent like a minute, but they were kind of natural moves that, well, would you consider anything else? At least anything else that would change things so much so as not to play rook a1, I mean?
It's such a... I hear what you're saying. And it makes sense what you're saying. I think part of the issue is just it's really hard for me because I can actually play bullet. Like I can actually, if I have not much time, like I am capable of actually moving quicker. But I think it's that, I don't know. I think maybe part of it is I'm scared that if I start playing what aren't what I feel the best moves, that I might even be going in the wrong direction. Like, I'm just scared that will translate to slower time controls. You know what I mean? I'm scared that if I start slacking off and playing moves that are maybe okay, but not the best moves, that I'm just going to get sloppy in my actual, skill. That's my concern.
No, I don't think so. I mean, it's about adaptation. Here, I mean, what you're trying to train here is you're trying to train yourself to make the best decision you can within certain constraints of time, which is what chess is about. At least practical chess. I mean, if it's even it's different to play a 45 plus 10 or 15 seconds game than playing a 90 plus 30. It's not the same. I mean, you know that in the 45-minute game with a smaller increment, you will have to think very well where you will spend your time. Maybe in the 90-minute game, you can go a bit deeper in more trivial decisions, but in a rapid but still long time control. But it's still a rapid game. I mean, you will have to limit yourself to thinking well less. And a 10-minute game without increment, um, well, you have to make a clear difference between critical and non-critical decisions. And if you take a look at this position, you notice that there are no tactics, basically. I mean, there's not even piece contact. Everything's well defended. It's highly unlikely that anything terrible could happen. And even in a long game, it will be hard to establish if there's a big difference between rook ad1 and, say, a4, for example, trying to push that knight even farther back.
How much do you?
So yeah, if you play bishop c3 or if you play rook ad1, yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say, how much do you think time management, like poor time management, is affecting my results right now on, at least on rapid? Like, for example, let's say I wake up tomorrow and I have perfect time management. How much of a difference in improvement do you think that might have?
Well, just as a reference, in many of these games, you're just winning at some point and you don't have the time to make up all the scores. Opponents have roughly your rating, they're even a little higher, and you still don't make it because, well, maybe you allocated time to think about things that weren't that important or non-critical decisions. So yeah, I don't know rating wise, but you could be playing above 2200 easily. I mean, considering your current rating, you could be stable in the 2200s most likely. I mean, it's a difference, for example, with some of your high rated opponents. Sometimes they play worse, but when the critical moment arrives, they just have a lot of time, and it's just easier.
So,
Just it's easier to play.
would you agree that time management is low hanging fruit? Because as opposed to, let's say, working on your end game or working on your openings or working on your calculation, time management, you think that's an easier problem to fix? What do you think?
That's a tough one because it requires a lot of insight. I mean, it kind of requires you to finish a game, go through the game, and see if you're happy about how you spent your time on it. Well, it's work. It's just as analyzing your games. But I think, yeah, if somehow you manage to change the habit, it's not the same amount of work. I mean, at least I find it way more taxing to try to improve my calculation abilities, which is really tiring. I mean, you have to really, really force yourself to calculate for a long time and deeply, and it's a lot of work. Well, you know it. You've been doing it. This is maybe not as taxing as I mean, considering how much hard work it is, but it's still not easy to change the habit. That's the problem, maybe. But it's breakable. I mean, you can definitely break the pattern. Because yeah, I see that there's a lot of small leakage. Like here, you had 7 minutes and 40 seconds, and after a few very natural moves, 3 moves, you have 1 minute less. And these are all moves that are really not going to change the course of the game and really look like natural moves to fight against this knight. And well, you enjoy a great position here. You still have a reasonable amount of time, so let's see how it goes from here. Bishop e3, 30 seconds on bishop e3. You see what I mean? It's like 30, 20, 30, 20. Your move 30, and you have no time. That's.
I think I was looking at stuff like a3. I was trying
to. Sorry, a4. You mean?
No,
A4,
a3. A3 bishop b4. I was. Yeah.
A3 and this. Because the queen.
Yeah. I don't know. And then I was looking at rook a1, but then there's queen b3, and I was just slow in my calculation.
Rook like back to a1.
If queen takes a2.
Okay. A3, queen takes a3, rook a1, and queen. Yeah.
And then I was just slow calculating that.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like everything's hanging. Yeah, it's probably not. Yeah, because bishop e3. I don't know if there's anything else, but bishop e3 sounds good. I mean, it's this knight is definitely feeling the heat. So rook f d8. It's changed instantly, which is good. This is a very powerful move. I mean, it took some time, and it's a logical move because you're fighting for the d-file. It took some time, and this one maybe you didn't see immediately. Is that correct? Maybe.
Well, I was trying. I was trying to make sure that it made sense. But yeah, I didn't see it immediately. No.
Rook e8 and rook d1 were played quickly. Good, because there are some moves that come in pairs. I mean, bishop g5 is clear with the idea of rook d1. Mm-hmm. It's kind of the same with c4 and b3, just killing this knight for a while. Queen c7. Now this bishop h4, 1 full minute for a very mysterious bishop move. I think that was hard to explain.
Well, I think I was considering rook d6, and I was looking at that. But then I think rook d6, he just has knight c8, and I just lose a tempo there. And then after looking at...
Do you though? I mean, you can go back to the...
Well, I feel his knight is better on c8 than it was on b6. So I didn't see what I'm achieving with rook d6.
Like it's going to e7 and f5 maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do need to defend this pawn so you can free the queen and invade on the file. But still, I don't know why bishop h4. I mean, what was the idea?
I think I wanted to stay on covering the d8 square with my bishop. I didn't want to let him trade on d8. I like to control d8. So I saw that like h6 was... I guess if he played h6, then I could have just brought the bishop back. There was no need to move it voluntarily, I guess.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you end up playing f4 anyways. Maybe you can do it immediately. I don't know. Maybe you can play f4 here. It does allow you to play queen d2 or queen d3 quickly and just get the queen in there. It's also not the only idea. Maybe queen g4 and bishop f6 is also a thing.
Maybe even
But in
h4.
any case, I mean, h4 here,
Yeah.
intending h5.
Yeah, just give him something to think about.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he can't play rook d8, he will be in trouble. I mean, I don't see how he's gonna fix this, honestly. The knight is just so bad. I mean, it has no supported squares in the center or even near. It's
reminds me of the Alekhine, the knight on b6 like that.
Yeah, true. So yeah, the thing is, 1 minute for this, having 5 minutes. Yeah, it's a lot of time, especially since it's not clear what the move is doing, and well, after he played the move like h6, you had to play f4 anyways. Maybe he wanted to have the bishop here already so that you could go back in any case. Oh no. So knight d7, and you got into d6. Nice. He gave the check, and you went back rather quickly. I mean, it can be done quicker, but it's not a problem. And you got a massive position. And the only problem is time. But well, thankfully, he was also spending his fair share of time. So I mean, he has a more than 1 extra minute compared to you. But here you found bishop h4, and now you're just cruising here. You took.
Oh, I remember this now. This game, yeah. I missed. Oh, yeah, man, I missed him. I missed a simple mating net. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. Check, king f7. You spend some time for this check again.
I think this game was terrible. I think, if I remember correctly. Oh no. Okay, yeah, I remember the game, but there was another game too that was just, I ended up losing, even though I was completely winning. Oh, yeah, these hurt. Just losing on the clock.
I think it's here.
It's where I have it's like a rook and pawn ending or something, and I give up my rook because I think I have like a rook and 2 pawns or something.
Oh no, I think it's a different.
Okay.
It's also one with a checkmate, if I remember correctly. I saw many of them.
All my games, almost like 90% of my losses are like this. Like seriously, right? Like there's a few games where I lose on the board, but the vast majority of my games, I'm just getting flagged.
Yeah, and it's definitely, yeah. I mean, I basically picked your losses and I opened them one by one, and yeah, it was the same pattern.
Yeah.
In this one, you did pretty well with time because, I mean, 2 minutes and 30 against 4 minutes, and this should still be a win. The problem is that there's no increment, so it's finish, and you have to be quick here to find the right moves, and yeah, it can be challenging. That's why it's important not to lose like this small amount of time, but small but still significant amount of time on every individual move. It's like if you chose c4, you know that you're going to play b3 next move against knight b6, and you have to do it quickly. For example, here this is kind of a mystery to me because you gave a check, 17 seconds. You went back 23 seconds and you repeated moves, and only here you went back. You lost like a minute in this repetition. And then you went, well, for a good idea, I think. What other moves make sense to you, if any, in this position?
Well, c5 wouldn't hurt. Black can't really do that much, so I can kind of do whatever I want. Well, c5 to secure the rook. Rook d3 as I played. Well, I could repeat again. I could go queen h5 again and then bring the rook back to d3.
Well, I think you might have seen this in that case, and that's why you weren't doing it.
All right. Okay.
But with c5, it looks like you will do it successfully. I mean, if queen a5, oh no, you have to give the check first. So you defend this pawn, and then you bring the rook back, and that seems like it's a lot to deal with for black. But yeah, c5 is a rather natural move. Rook d3 here is also the case. Check, you went. Yeah, here you played fast, but yeah, in the moment you needed, you didn't find the right. Yeah, here is where you missed. Where you missed the.
Yeah, no, I think I was just panicking. I tend to do that when I'm low on the clock because I know I'm not the fastest player. I'm a pretty slow thinker, and so when I get low on the clock, it's kind of a double whammy because I'm already in time pressure, and then I start to panic, and then so I miss the obvious, just rook d3 here.
Panic when you're below 2 minutes.
Oh, sorry, you got disconnected there, but you're back now. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I was saying that I think that's the word for it. It's panic. Once you get below 2 minutes, you start to panic, and you just move quickly. It's the complete opposite as to how you play prior to that. So yeah, you need some more time in the bank. So yeah, here, how do you win this?
Yeah, I think. Well, so rook d3 looks good. If rook d7, I can probably win that rook after queen g8, and then give another check. I'm going to win the rook on d7. If he
queen d3, rook d3.
Yeah, rook d3, king f7. Okay, well let's look at queen h5. How do you want to proceed with that? King g7. King g7. Maybe then I can go rook d8. Oh wait. No, that doesn't help. Actually, yeah, rook d8, because then I'm threatening queen g. Oh, but wait, my pawn. Yep, my pawn on f4 is hanging. Okay, so let me think. So rook d3, king f7. Oh, immediately rook d8. I'm threatening mate in 1 there.
Yeah, that should be more than enough because I can't play rook e8, queen h5, just lose there. Yeah, that and rook d3 definitely wins. Queen h5 also wins, though you leave the pawn hanging, so you have to be a bit careful with some things, but it shouldn't matter. But you have checkmate in 3-4 moves tops if he sacrifices the queen here. Like queen g8. I used, misclick.
Yeah, then mate. Yeah.
And there it is. It's checkmate. King c7, queen d8, checkmate. Yeah.
Or winning the rook at the least.
So there were many ways. You played queen h5. Sorry, how? Oh no, it's mate because he can't.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying I also should have seen that idea. I'm saying I should have also seen the idea because even if it's not mate, I would have won the rook. Like I should have seen that. That's just a really strong move. Period. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's pretty straightforward. But yeah, you're down. You're very low on time, so yeah, it's easy to miss pretty much anything at this point. And rook g7, this might have been a sort of practical mistake, especially because it took well, it drained your time. But also, you're the one with the attack here. I mean, his king is exposed, yours is fine. I don't know if you should go after this trade. I know it makes things simpler, but well, it's a queen endgame now. I don't know. But it's true that you have the H pawn that should be. And now he even plays this F5 move, which I'm not sure about. And you played quickly and well here. But this might just be a, as they say, matter of technique. What's the plan? Like, if you had to see like a schematic way of winning this quickly, how do you do it? Like, what's your biggest asset?
Well, the H pawn. That's my biggest asset. It's my only passer.
And how do you plan to advance it further?
Well, black can't afford to trade queens. Plus, he's a pawn down to begin with. I mean, I guess there's just queen g5 that gives the pawn another couple squares right off the bat. I think I was better here,
Exactly.
but I missed the queen b2. I just didn't have time to see queen b2, and then that was too much to give back. Not here.
Yeah, I mean, here you can throw in like 2 or 3 moves like instantly, and I don't think he can do anything. I mean, the only thing you have to consider is this, which just looks desperate, honestly. And you might as well just play this anyway. But yeah, the plan of advancing the pawn is clearly the idea. So queen d3, king e7, g3. Yeah, it exposes the king, unfortunately. The pawn on g2 was fantastic. I mean, with the queen on g5, would just push this pawn further. Now he's always going to be threatening checks, and it's not so much about the pawn on a2 even. The problem has to do more about with the king
and his f5 pawn, really.
e5. Yeah. It's funny that even here it's checkmate. Black played it.
Yeah, I missed this
wrong
one
at
too.
some point
Yeah, I
here.
missed queen g7 and queen f5 are both mate in twos.
Yeah, it's like there are 2 mates here, and black doesn't even get a check. And you checked well. Here you did well to just give a perpetual view. Well, because you have nothing else and you're getting really low on time. I mean, it's very interesting that you get to a much superior position, but you have like around 2 minutes, and I think you can get there with more time, considering the problems that your opponent posed during the games, which weren't that great. I mean, you just got a superior position. You keep his knight back with very natural moves. If you get to this endgame with, say, 4 minutes instead of 2 minutes and a half, it's way more likely that you just find one winning line there and that's it.
Yeah,
but being around 2 minutes it's already a lot to handle.
Yeah, and the bonus of that is if I did have 4 minutes, that means my opponent would have 2 minutes less. So he would actually be in time pressure, right? Because it's not like I only have 2 minutes. If I get 2 minutes more, that means my opponent has less time than he would have. Oh, I think we froze. Let me check. Oh, yeah, we got disconnected here. Oh, is he back? Hello?
I'm disconnected.
Oh, you're back now, but there's a slight delay between us. I'll wait for that.
Oh, it froze.
Yeah, there's like a 30-second delay right now between us. But you're back now. There's just a bit of a lag.
30.
Yeah. Okay. No. It's getting better now, I think, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you hear what I was saying about the 2-minute difference?
It says no. It's getting better. Oh, there must have been a dip in my connection. Something like.
Uh-oh. We might be having connection issues again.
Oh, it's cutting out a
Yeah.
lot. Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but there's like a 45-second delay, I think, between us. And your video is not. Oh, you got disconnected again. Okay. Anybody watching? Sorry for these technical difficulties. We're okay. Okay, he's back. Okay, can you hear me again?
Hi.
I just heard you say hi. Yeah, there must be a very long delay between us. Okay.
Oh, do you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. There's just an incredible delay between us. Hopefully it improves. I can see and hear you. There's just a very long delay between us. Oh. Okay, I'm going to ask him to, can you check if the issue is on your end? You can go, let me, something here. Yeah, let me try to invite him back in. Okay. So I don't know how to disconnect him. Oh, I'm going to do it this way. Whoops. Okay, bear with me. I'll be right back.
Hi. Is it fixed? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it
So
was.
yeah,
It was.
my computer collapsed. completely like from Lichess and everything.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that was actually not a connection problem. I think it was the software, I think, was
The
processing
computer.
too slow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Whoops, I'm on the wrong screen. While waiting, I was doing something. Okay, I'm back in the study. And yeah, oh, that's so much better, man. Yeah, we there was like a 1 minute delay between us at the end there.
Yeah. Yeah. I had you frozen in the window. Yeah. um. So this is another draw. I mean, I'm trying to think of the game that really fits the description that you were talking about. But still, let's take a look at this one.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of games
It
that fit
wasn't
that
this one, but
description.
but it's important to analyze those particular episodes. Especially, I mean, I think the biggest mistake here is like when you have a very natural position where there's not a lot of piece contact and you have many moves that look more or less natural, like well, rook 81 or bishop e3 in that one, in that last game we saw. Well, those are the non-critical moments where you have to pick rather quickly and based on your intuition more than anything. Yeah, it's or at least you should allocate an amount of time that that fits the time control you're playing. Because if you're playing a 10-minute game, just spending 40 seconds on a move like rook 81, which really looks like you're going to play anyways, it's a lot. And this is a different case though. Your opponent played this h3, which has nothing to do with the position. I don't know what this is.
I have an
And
idea why he played it, but it's a pretty bad move.
yeah,
Because for me, often in this position, I like to get my light squared bishop outside of my pawn chain, and eventually, I often do play bishop g5 down the road or bishop g4 down the road. So that's the only thing I can think of is he was stopping bishop g4, but way overly prophylactic, doesn't make any sense anyway here. Yeah.
yeah. So I can almost hear you think I have to punish this. And yeah, you played well. You took some seconds for this one, which looks very natural, but still,
It wasn't too
more or
bad
less
though,
fine.
right? I didn't spend too long on knight
No,
c6.
no, not the end of the world. But I mean, when thinking about knight c6, you're probably thinking about knight f3 as your opponent's likely counter. So it's not only 20 seconds; it's just 20 seconds plus the 50 seconds you took to play bishop f5. So that makes well more than 1 minute in a couple of normal developing moves. I don't know where you consider anything else like capturing here or what was the
Yeah, well, I was also wondering about bishop h4. Sorry, I mean knight h4. So bishop f5, knight h4. I wasn't sure about that.
knight h4? I wouldn't have guessed that one.
Kind of like the London.
And,
Like
and, and what? Oh, sorry. And what did you think after bishop f5 knight h4? What was the reply you had in mind?
I think I thought I could probably just go back to e6, like bishop e6 and play g6, and his knight isn't really great on h4. I think that's what my consensus there. Yeah. Or even just
knight h4 says.
Yeah, or even just put it back on d7. My bishop is better on d7 than his knight is on h4. Yeah.
Yeah, knight h4. I mean, he already played h3, so I guess playing knight h4 also it's just a lot. Maybe there's even bishop takes b1 and his center collapses. I don't know that maybe needs to be calculated, but you might have more than one good response. Yeah, knight h4. Yeah, I think it's just not principle at all. It'll be a very weird move for him to play. Bishop c4 though, well, this is more or less natural. You play knight b6. Whoa, you took time for knight b6. Again, individually, not a lot. Doesn't seem like it's a lot, but
I was calculating there though. I was looking at knight d b4. That's what
okay. And what did you?
I didn't like knight a3.
What was the knight a3 and yeah, he's defending knight c2. I don't know if maybe you consider d takes c5, but there's d5 to worry about there, I guess.
I considered d takes e5, but I thought he might just go d takes e5 in return.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, at least if he can neutralize this with knight a3, yeah, we have to ask ourselves, what is the knight doing on b4 anyway? So yeah, it's way more principle to hit the bishop. But see, just like that, a quarter of your time is gone in the opening. And it is a considerable amount, especially thinking that your opponent put no pressure on you in this game. He played very weird moves that yeah, I know you want to punish them. I'm sure you where you think about it, like I have to.
So the opening is going to be the hardest for me to play quicker in, because I do like my theory and my perfect, so-called perfect openings. So I think if I do improve my time management, it's not going to be seen first in the opening. It's going to be seen like in the middle game, like the c4 b3. I can play those moves quicker, and rook a d1 from the last game. I can play those moves quicker, but right out of the opening, it's going to be really hard for me to play quicker, because I don't know. My core is to like play perfect in the openings. So I will try. I will try to play some of these moves quicker. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is, I mean, there are a lot of principle moves that, yeah, maybe you're going too much out of your way thinking about possible responses by your opponent, which is good, but that are, well, highly unlikely that they work, and you have some responses that are even just principle and good, and you don't need to dig a lot deeper into that. And here, yeah, I mean, e6. Let's see where we are at move 10. 7 minutes, 8 seconds. Yeah, it's. I mean, considering other games you played in the opening, sometimes you play the quickest because you know the move, you know the systems already. So you do very well in time. But when you get surprised, even by some substandard ideas such as h3, yeah, you tend to use up more time here. So knight c3, and I'm curious about d5.
Yeah.
And you didn't like d takes c?
I think with d5, I was planning to just try to play on the c file. So like rook c8, knight a5, and I also have knight b4 ideas, and my bishop could maybe go to b4. I don't know. That was my thought.
Yeah, I think you solved everything. You're definitely fine with your bishop outside pawn chain. It's like a French player's dream, or Caro-Kann. But yeah, I was just thinking maybe taking here, because the e5 pawn tends to be rather weak in the long run. But it might not be the case. Like d takes e5, and the space advantage might be annoying. Yeah, since he can't put pressure on this bishop, this looks very reasonable, and what was he gonna do? I mean, change this bishop. That would be welcome, anyways. um, so a3, you see, well, you can see what the opponent does. He plays instantly, and he plays subpar moves. He's sort of getting away. I mean, not getting away with it, because if anything, you're just a little bit better. But he's getting with it in the sense that he's not losing. This is still a game, and he's ahead in the clock, and it's not that clear how you're going to punish him, anyways, because it's a quiet position. It's a dream for black because you solved every opening problem you could possibly have, but I can see what he's doing here. It's not an approach I favor. He's just playing way too fast and sound moves. But uh, but if you spend too much time, at some point it will work. You went knight a5. You went for this plan, and you managed to trade the bishops. Put the rook on c8. Well, this took you some time, but not a lot, which is good. But b3 is kind of suspicious, isn't it? I mean, you can't exploit it immediately, but it's not looking great. But I think this is the move in which you spend, well, not that much. I mean, a healthy amount of time, like 30 seconds for this one. But I don't know if you remember more or less what you were thinking about. What's the plan here?
Yeah, I don't think it was anything too concrete. I might have given a very cursory glance at f6, breaking on f6 here, but I felt that my e6 pawn is just too weak, and I could go f6 and then retake with the g pawn if he takes on f6. So I think I was looking at those ideas briefly, and then I decided to just double up on the c file.
Yeah, doubling up sounds that like the normal approach, like, I don't know, rook c6, a6, triple up even. Yeah, I think you were right in the end, because f6, well, for one thing, you don't need to do it, in the sense that you don't have the light square bishop anymore. You're not cramped. I mean, he has a space advantage, but your pieces are not suffering because of this. F6 is normally a way to free yourself, and here you might, as you say, just get a weak pawn on a weak pawn on e6, and you also need to add more pressure here. You probably need to get the knight back, and it takes time. I think your approach was fine. It's queen d7 or a6 or rook c6 or whatever move helps you double up on the c file. Sounds good. What about queen c7 though? He has to play rook fc1. I don't know if it's gonna change anything. He has to play this rook because this pawn will be hanging if he plays the other one. But queen d7 is fine. Bishop g5. And yeah, again, you took a while to play rook c7 here.
I was contemplating taking on g5.
Oh, taking here?
Yeah.
And after knight takes?
Well, that's why I ultimately didn't do it. But yeah,
yeah, he'll make you play a very...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. It might be very loud because it's raining a lot. Just a sec. I will close the window so it's not as loud here.
I can hear you okay, unless you want to close it. But
oh, you can hear me okay? Well,
yeah.
I can use the headphones then maybe.
Okay.
Okay, hopefully this works. Can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, now I hear you a lot better.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Yeah, I guess the microphone doesn't take the sound
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
from the rain. Um, it's a yeah. um, so yeah, takes you have to weaken yourself. Yeah, terribly by playing G6 or so. So you ultimately play this, but yeah, it's draining your time little by little. Just a few moves ago, you had more than 6 minutes, and now suddenly you are down to less than 5 A seats again, like a minute for A seats.
I spent a minute. Yeah, that's a bit slow. uh,
Yeah, it's a matter of following through with your plan at this point. I mean, if you don't see any real problem with the rook
oh no,
f8,
no,
you
I did.
just
I thought I
join
did.
it.
No, I thought there was bishop d7 or bishop e7, and then knight b5.
Oh, okay. You might have this though. I mean, if bishop takes e7, rook takes c3, and you're attacking the pawn, you're threatening rook c2, and a lot of stuff. So you were probably
Okay, I was looking at bishop b4, but that doesn't work, right? Bishop b4, rook takes b3, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
rook takes b3. Yeah, I guess we can keep the rook there. Like queen a2, we have this and defend everything. So yeah, so you're probably calculating here: bishop takes, queen takes e7, knight b5, rook c2 maybe, and queen b1.
I didn't. After
And you went.
knight b5, I cut my calculation, so maybe a little too early.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it's fine because it's hard to do anything at all about knight d6, I guess, and at least it looks scary. So yeah, you ended up playing a6. Yeah, unfortunately, you didn't get to see this one, and it took some time here. A6, rook a b1, but rook f8, you played it quickly. He's just moving around. It's crazy. At least he spent some time. Now you see that he had like 9 minutes, and now he's been thinking a while. So you went back. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything else. At some point, did you consider trying to triple up?
No, wait. I'm looking right now at. Oh, it doesn't work. Never mind. I was going to say bishop a3, but there's my knight's hanging. My knight's hanging at the end of the.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, so knight c6 feels reasonable. Again, maybe not the best move, but doesn't seem to be anything else. I mean, you're fine anyway. He's the one under pressure. You have the better pawn structure. He's the one that has the exposed pawns. He's changed. Well, he was up for it's changing everything. And yeah, the problem is that at the end of the day, you couldn't hurt him much, really, and suddenly he's just up a lot of time in this ending where you can both play on forever. And it's bound to happen. So yeah, you just needed more time here again, I think. A lot of stuff happened this ending, though. I mean, then I'm trying to remember at which point there was a.
This might be the game where I think he missed winning my knight. I think he had a fork.
at one point.
I'm not sure if that's this game or not.
You're going back. This was a mistake already. You can just take here and well, it's a pawn. Or H takes.
Once I get to
Yeah.
around this mark, 2.5 minutes, yeah, that's when my brain just goes panic. Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotta move quickly and see what happens.
Oh yeah, I missed knight f5 coming up.
Yeah. Well, here he didn't see this. I don't know what this was about. He played. Well, here, yeah, you had to play this weird ball. I think you took.
Oh yeah, I remember looking at this briefly with the engine. It was kind of confusing. It wasn't so.
I can't blame you for not playing this. I wouldn't with this amount of time.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, the idea was check, and if king d3, you have this check supporting the pawn. Yeah, I mean, come on, who's gonna do this? Well, the thing is, everything falls with check. It's funny, but in no way, no way. Yeah, I would blame no one for not finding knight e7 with 2 minutes on the clock. And f takes g, of course, give me this pawn. Yeah, it's a problem because you lose a center pawn, but still. Yeah, so he has a couple of very good-looking pawns, but we managed quite well, I have to say. You basically stop them. Knight d4, and here this is the moment he blundered horribly with knight d4.
Yeah, here I had the knight f5, but then I blunder again.
Yeah,
I blunder in a couple moves here, which he missed. And as soon as I made my move, I saw the mistake.
Yeah, this is the moment.
Yeah, it was here. Yeah, then he has knight c3, followed by d5, and as soon as I played it, I saw it, and I'm like, oh no. But he didn't. He didn't see it.
Yeah,
I think it was trying to flag
you
me.
have no one. Yeah, he didn't care about chess anymore.
Yeah. The whole game, I don't think he cared, because like h3 and then a3.
Yeah. Yeah, he played like 20 moves with, and he still had like 9 minutes on the clock. So yeah, here it kind of fizzled out to draw. Even though the only one who can win at this point it's you. You probably can't, but
I think I was still winning here, if I remember, when I looked at it with the engine. I think this was still winning.
Oh yeah, he might lose this pawn.
Yeah, I think
and choose separated
G5. I think G. No, is it G5? It might be G5.
King takes, king takes. Feels unlikely because you still have to pick up that pawn a5 and yeah, you have an a pawn which is like a nightmare.
No, it might have been something stranger. It might have. It actually might have been knight d2 or knight d4. It might have been knight d2.
Knight d2 for a knight c4 like this.
Yeah.
Picking up.
I think that was.
You can try to trap this knight.
I think that was a computer's plan. Knight d2. That's such a weird move to consider here, though.
Knight d2, king g5.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not. I don't remember looking at it thoroughly, but yeah, knight c4. And then we just hunt down his king. I mean his knight.
Yeah, it's. I think I don't know if this is it, but it's an idea. Check. Okay, this position. Maybe we can trap this poor knight.
Yeah, king c6.
Okay, we also have to check this one out. I don't know if.
He can
Yeah,
get
I
to
don't think
C8.
this
He can
is.
get to C8.
Yeah, he's gonna go back in time here. I mean, when you take this pawn, your king is still not even nearly enough, nearly close enough to keep the king away. Yeah, it's not this probably.
No, I think it was. It might have been knight C4.
King here, knight c4.
It's either knight C4 or knight E4.
And king takes. Really hard still. I don't know what the computer's.
Yeah, I know. But I remember there was one last chance there that we were still winning. But I'm not going to see that, let alone with a minute.
No. Yeah, no. I mean, it might be something like very study-like. Yeah, no way. You took here. I don't know. Maybe. Oh no, not this because of knight c5. That's terrible. Sorry. Knight takes b3. King f4. King c6. Oh, he played these seeds. Yeah.
Yeah, that made me nervous.
Yeah, it's tough. You can't even get close to the pawn.
Yeah, I think I played knight d4, right?
No, I'm looking at this. You didn't play it, but it looks very reasonable. Because even if king e5, you just take and you're taking here. So.
Oh, maybe did I take on a5?
No, you played king c7 here.
Oh, right. Okay.
Well, you had to play something. This is probably the move. I don't know, but still, you're down to 33 seconds or so. Good that you managed to make a draw because he might just flag you by playing around. But I think this is the clear draw or not. No, not yet. I mean, there are checkmate positions, but sometimes Lichess or chess.com gives a draw here. I don't know why. I don't know if it's happened to you, but it's happened to me that there are checkmate positions available, and it still declares a draw. He kept playing.
Oh, I didn't remember that. I didn't remember that we kept playing like that.
Yeah, finally it's changed.
There's no way. I mean, I can just pre-move the knight for the rest of the game. Like, I got 17 seconds. I just pre-moved. I can last 50 moves.
Oh, you know how to do that?
What?
Like pre-move, like 50 moves. The problem is if you get a check or something.
No, but
it's just cut.
Yeah, but he's got a knight, so insufficient material. So I can just move anything. Is what I'm saying.
But that's my question here. If you lose some time here,
yeah,
it's still a draw.
Oh, you mean with I see what you mean. With if both knights are on board still. I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Still play.
I don't know. I see what you're saying. I think that would be a loss. Yeah. So I had to trade the knights.
Yeah, I mean. By FIDE rules, it's just a loss. I don't know Lichess on chess.com because it's happened to me that there was enough material to win, like theoretically. I mean, there are checkmate positions with this material, but I still declare a draw. And I didn't know what was going on. I was the flagger in that game, not about that. I said, what? I should win this.
Yeah, but here I wasn't worried still because 17 seconds, I can still just pre-move every move because I have nothing to lose.
Like, you can pre-move.
Yeah, he's not going to checkmate me. Very unlikely that he'll find some checkmate with me pre-moving every move.
No, except he just checks you, and that cuts the pre-moving. That's the only
Yeah.
the only concern. Yeah.
But he's not going to do that enough times
But
to take out 17 seconds. Yeah.
yeah, no, at least not for 50 moves. You can play the 50 moves. So yeah, I'm glad to see that even though you get low on time, in which in something you're good at is playing those last 2 minutes. You're not getting flagged, not every time at least. You're getting to the end of the game, and if you blunder, but you just work hard not to get flagged, which is very important. I mean, just losing on time in a position that where still everything's going on, that's the worst.
Yeah, it's bad for my blood pressure.
Yeah. This is the game I was referring to. I think against a very strong opponent, someone who's up there in the 2200s. I don't know how stable this guy is in that, but you were doing great as far as I remember. I mean, open Sicilian, c4, bishop g7. I think we even saw an episode of this game, or we talked about this game.
What?
No, last lesson, like briefly.
I don't think so.
Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm confusing it for another one. But you know the theory here clearly. Queen d2, queen a5. This surprised you a little bit?
No. This is thematic.
No.
Yeah. The only thing is, because there's always the knight d5, right? The knight d5 idea, but if you play it too early, it's not so great. There's always queen. There's always queen d8.
Yeah, at this point there is. And if he doesn't put rook on d8 or something like that, he won't have any tactical issues. Not yet, at least. But I was curious because you spent like a minute on rook fd1.
Yeah.
Maybe doing this on f3. I don't know.
No, I was just trying to remember perfect theory. Yeah, I looked at knight d5, and then I think I might have looked at b3. Yeah, and I probably did look at f3 too, but ultimately played rook fd1. In these accelerated Maroczy bind dragons positions, white can kind of play anything. And most of the moves transpose, and the rooks are actually good anywhere. There's no consensus. I've run this with the engine so many times. Like rook b1, rook c1, rook d1. They're all kind of good for different reasons, or at least they're fine.
It does make sense. I mean, perfect theory, as you call it. I mean, sometimes there are just options. It's not like there's a clear cut line, and it looks like that kind of position. This is exactly where I would tell you, a minute on this move is way too much. Because it's a move. It's the move clearly. This or rook ac1. I don't know. I don't know which one, but if I don't see any clear problem with any of them, I'll pick any of them on any given day. I like this one because you already defend the queen, so the knight d5 ideas are more likely. But you know what I mean. This is just like the rook ad1. Incidentally, you take a lot of time for your rooks.
It's not the same though. It's not the same as the rook ad1. I'll tell you why. The difference is this is still within the realm of my repertoire theory. So that's why I spent more time on it, because I'm like, ooh, I gotta play perfect. I must play perfect out of the opening. The other one, I can't give that excuse because the other position was not a theoretical position for me. So in the other game, I should have played rook ad1, or was it rook ad1 or rook fd1? last game? I forget.
I think it
But
was Rook A1.
okay, Rook
Yeah.
AD1. Yeah, but that explains why I spent a bit of time here. It's not justification, but it explains some of the reasoning why I did it.
Yeah, because as you said, it's not a good excuse. I mean, it should be totally the opposite, because if this is within the realms of your open theory, you should play fast.
Oh yeah,
especially since you know that
everything's
rook
fine.
moves are more or less like
Yeah,
they're the same. And
Yeah.
everything's exactly. You should just play it
and then
with
maybe
confidence. I mean, again, it doesn't. Yeah.
so maybe a practical solution is to after the game. That's when I can really hem and haw about what was perfect, not during the game.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this is 0.3 better. Well,
Yeah.
it's probably not going to impact the game that much. And especially a 10-minute game, because you can try to figure out if Rook AC1 or Rook FD1 was your move in a long time control game, not in a 10-minute game without increment. There, I mean, this is time you're going to need somewhere else, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So I sit, and your opponent is playing instantly. He's just playing. I don't want to say random. He's just playing natural moves for the system. And you got a great position as usual. Well, Rook AC1. Oh, here you spend some time on Rook AC1 too. Yeah, that amounts to a lot. Knight takes D4, Bishop takes. B5. Now, this is an interesting position to calculate a little bit.
I think I spent a very long time here. Maybe like 2 minutes or something. How long did it say?
Yeah, it went down. Yeah, exactly 2 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
2 minutes.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, yeah, because B5 is unusual. I guess it's essentially a minority attack, but I'm actually not familiar with this, even though I played this Maroczy bind setup so many times. And then I think part of it was I was wondering, hey, like, how did this even happen? Because I've never seen this before. So I'm like, what was different in the opening? Because I've never seen this B5 before. And so, yeah, that caught me off guard for sure. The funny thing is, I'm pretty sure that the engine move and the clear best move here was C5. And I don't think I considered C5, even though I spent so much time on this.
Yeah, it's kind of circumstantial because there's a tactic here, but yeah, it wasn't easy to spot, not quickly at least.
Yeah, but I spent
it's very
good. 2
good.
minutes on it though. I should have seen C5 with the 2 minute thing. There's no excuse. I don't.
Yeah, you're probably focused on what Bishop takes a 95, the typical. That's why I put the line there, like Bishop takes. And if Bishop takes 95, the typical way of ruining the pawn structure here.
Well, I think I was considering CB as well.
Okay. Like here, C takes B?
Yeah.
And with what follow-up?
F3
anyway? So
I don't know, but I was looking at it. And again, I was still in kind of shock because I have never seen this before. I've had this position so many times, and I've never seen this minority attack in the.
Well, that B5 is more common in the hedgehog. I mean, in the Maroczy, but when black plays the hedgehog in Sicilian structures with the pawns on E6 and D6, then it's kind of common. I know that in this particular line in the accelerated dragon, black plays through the dark squares, basically pawn A5. He sends the knight to C5 and stuff like that, the queen on B6. But the break is pretty thematic in many Maroczy structures, just not in the
Accelerated.
In the accelerated dragon, not there. That's true. But B5 is a thematic reaction for the pawn structure. Maybe not in this particular line.
Yeah, maybe because the bishop is on d7.
Yeah.
Maybe if his bishop was on
problems
b7, he could do it. But that would have taken him an extra move. Oh no, it wouldn't have.
Yeah,
No, it would have. Yeah,
he
because
might be losing the.
it wouldn't. He wouldn't be able to do that because the pawn would still be on b7. So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's way. I mean, it's kind of a natural reaction, this b5. But I know in this particular line, black tends to play on the dark squares. Well,
Yeah.
but you played a good move. It's I think it's fine, isn't it? I mean, c5 is clearly best, but f3 makes sense.
It's
too.
a safe move, just because there's a lot of tactics here. Sometimes there's knight takes e4 even. I do have the rook on d1, so that helps x-ray the defense of d4. But I didn't want to. By playing f3, I don't have to spend as much time worrying about my e4 pawn.
Yeah. Now you're safe. You never considered stuff like bishop takes and knight d5 or knight 5. Apparently, bishop b takes c4 was actually a mistake because of this trick. And now this falls with check, and you completely destroy his pawns. Like the point is queen takes, knight takes e7 check. This happens in dragon a lot. And his pawns are ruined. These two are very likely victims in the next few moves. That's a trick that's always looming, especially when you're already hitting this knight on f6. I mean, if there's not enough pressure, he might just go back to d8. But here, if he goes back to d8, you still take here and you ruin his pawns anyway. So I think knight e5 was the refutation to b takes c4. Did you consider any of these tricks during the game?
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking about before. That's a very thematic trick. That's probably the only trick for white in the accelerated dragon. I think I considered it, but I thought that his c4 pawn was already kind of weak, and so I thought that. I don't know.
No,
I'm trying to justify my move. I mean, I definitely I know about knight d5 for sure. I'm always thinking about that. I think. Oh no, I know why. I think I wasn't sure if I wanted to let him take on a2. I think that was the decision. So I thought knight d5, queen a2, knight e7, king h8.
A bishop takes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe you missed this. Yeah, because it does look great. If these two fall apart, then this probably follows.
Yeah.
It was strong at this point. Sometimes you're checking a move by move, and then you miss it when it's time. It happens.
No, I did see it, but I think it was the queen a2 that talked me out of it. But I think I maybe a little bit lazy in my calculating of it because I don't think I just considered the bishop c4 afterwards.
Oh, okay.
I think yeah.
Yeah, you took anyway, which isn't terrible, but yeah, it's just a missed chance. And here you do play it. Here you play knight e5 now. Yeah, you probably saw that this was also sort of hanging. And he went back, and you have a massive position here. This is awesome. Knight takes f6. Well, the computer wanted something very strange with bishop b6. Knight c7, queen back, and bishop a5.
Yeah, I
Oh,
remember
no.
seeing that. It
Knight.
seemed needlessly complicated.
I mean, this move is great because it defends the bishop, and now he threatens knight e6, but it's not so easy to find. And this is very clear, and you went for it, and I think that's perfectly fine. And here you are up a pawn with a better pawn structure. I mean, it doesn't get better than this. And still a decent amount of time, I'll say.
Starting to get a little tight on the clock.
Yeah, down to 3 minutes.
Once
yeah,
I get to the
took a
2.5 minute mark, that's when I panic. So once I get to 2:30, then you'll see a change in my play.
Yeah, here, I mean, when you think about the line, this line, you already need to be more or less decided on the next move, because everything is so forcing here. Like if queen takes, rook f takes d8, there are only two moves basically. Either you take on d8 or you just take at once on b5. There's not much more. So here you have to take a quick look at it probably and decide. When you thought about it's changing and rook f takes d8, you still hadn't looked at this, or rook takes first. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't. I mean, I knew that they were options, but I gave it a second consideration here. I think because I realized I'm only a pawn up, and I don't know. I was trying to extract as much as I possibly could out of the position. But how long did I spend on the recapture on taking on d8?
On bishop takes b5. Well,
Yeah.
that's another 30 seconds.
Ooh,
So which at this point it
yeah,
is a lot.
yeah. That's yeah. It's 25% of my time, I think, something like that. So.
Yeah. In this no increment blitz, it's
Yeah.
it's a lot already.
Yeah.
And rook c2 drained another like almost 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because it's the only move basically. Else he's just getting in here, and you can't play rook c5 because of the check, and he takes the pawn. So you kind of need to do this. He kept playing quick and bad moves. I'm not saying that king f8 is particularly bad, but he's not. He's just trying to make time work in his favor. He went in, you played rook c5, and again you're down to 2 minutes. You're playing very well though. I mean, you just capture his pawn here. Yeah, you're so low.
Oh, this is the game. This is the game where I think I had 2 pawns up, and then I just didn't have time, and I just resigned. That was frustrating. That was very frustrating.
Yeah, because during the whole game, you were you're clearly in charge. I mean, there was no question that you were that you were the one putting pressure. And here, yeah, you still need some technique to play this fast and win easily. It should be done. I mean, you're up 3 pounds, but still a minute and a half. He took everything here. Yeah, this might complicate matters a little bit, but still pretty easy. Yeah, you don't even have time to spot these quick tactics. Yeah, it's a problem now because after rook takes g2. Yeah, now you're letting him capture on h2. Maybe you should just play this. So you make him go rook b2, and now rook g7, and and there's no notion of him taking this pawn, and that'll be two these two extra pawns with this one falling too. Um, and this is still totally win, of course, but well, one idea is to send the king first instead of the pawns. Even though e5 wins easily, I know, but sending the king in front of the pawns to help them advance from the side is like the easiest way of pushing them forwards. Like king e4. What's he gonna do? We're probably h4, h3, king f5. He can get all the way to h2 if he wants. But then I don't know what he's gonna do about this simple plan. Probably needs to get the rook out of there and lose the pawn h2.
Even here, I've got pants, right? I can just go e7.
Yeah, exactly. It happens. Yeah, you can, even a combination of these two just allows you to promote easily. Yeah. But helping the pawns with the king and putting the king in front of your pawn so that there are no checks and promotion, that'll probably do it quickly. You send this pawn forwards, and yeah, you lose one of the passed pawns. Practically it's more difficult now because you have to play extremely quick, and it's just not as straightforward as it used to. And yeah, you're down to 20 seconds. Yeah, in a very curious situation where you're also faced with this. It's not that easy anymore. Funnily enough, this should still be a win. Probably
his king's too far. Yeah. Eight seconds.
King is 7 probably. He gives this check. I mean, this is terrible technique by him. It's like, yeah, I don't care. I'm just making any moves. King e7 is clearly the move. You have to put the king in front of the pawn. With check, yeah, you're going to f6, and he's still in trouble. Yeah, you resigned before going out of time completely.
Yeah, I mean, there's 4 seconds. Yeah, there's no chance.
yeah, really tough because you had him the whole game basically. The problem is, unless you completely destroy him, if it gets to a point where the position is still somewhat complicated, even if it's to your favor, you're gonna get flagged. I guess the only way is just saving up some time in conditions which are not going to make a huge difference. Like the natural rook moves to the open files and that sort of stuff. And in a 10-minute game, unfortunately, you only get to calculate like once or twice during the game, and you can't go in too deep because if what you're looking at doesn't work, then you just spend way too much time, and you don't get it back. But yeah, I don't know. I know that just talking about it is not that useful, but maybe something you can do with your games is just after the game when you get flagged, go back to it and identify. Well, first of all, these little moments where you say, okay, I could avoid spending so much time on particularly this move, or I should have decided on this move when I started with this series of move, like c4 b3 comes to mind, and not spending a full minute on those two moves, for example.
Okay, yeah, and just to revisit my earlier question, which you did answer, but I just like to bring it up again, where I said I think some of the psychology of why I spend longer on some moves that really don't matter so much is I think I'm kind of scared in the back of my head that when I play longer time controls, that maybe I'm getting lazy. I'm worried that it's sacrificing my overall quality. But you seem to think that probably is not really a concern, that I have to play practically with the given shorter time control.
Yeah.
And so if I do play a tournament game, I probably will still use that extra time. That was just, I think that's part of my concern, but.
Yeah, you don't tend to be a player that just plays irreflexively and fast. That's not you. I mean, you have the opposite problem, if anything.
Yeah.
You spend too much time. Yeah, and it's something that happens. There are people who just play instantly, like your opponent here, who probably has the opposite problem. He's just blitzing out moves when it's not necessary. I mean, it's still a 10-minute game. You don't need to play every move on the second. So he's definitely not hitting a sweet spot in his time management either. But yeah, I don't think that will affect you. If you start playing bullet all day, yeah, I'll tell you, yeah, this might do some harm. In fact, I think it might even help you, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to spend a reasonable amount of time for the given move, given the time constraints you have, which is what you have to do in chess in general. I mean, when you're playing a 90-30 game, and you get low on time, you have to play fast anyway. So yeah,
I'm just laughing because you would be one of the first coaches in history to be like to tell your student to play bullet. But yeah, I know what you're saying though.
No, I wouldn't recommend it. Bullet is just fun. I mean, it won't do anything good for your chess. It's just pure fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you start playing bullet all day, it will definitely hurt time management. Probably especially if you don't play other time controls, which is the problem with people that play too much bullet. They don't play other time controls. But yeah, it's not gonna hurt your time management. I don't think so for longer games. I mean,
yeah. And you did ask me in our last lesson, you asked me how my time management was at the tournament, and it was really good actually. It was very solid. It was kind of ideal. So maybe that does show that I can adapt, at least to the slower time controls. I have trouble adapting to the faster time controls. So okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's not your main game, but yeah, you can definitely adapt here too. I mean, it's just it's a matter of spotting where you have to calculate and when not. You will need to allocate more time to tougher decisions, and not where you have many options that just look fine.
Okay, yeah.
Perfectionism is bad for blitz and rapid. Yeah. That's the bottom line here.
Well, even classical. Who is that Russian player who often spends like half an hour on his first move? What's his name?
It can be Grishuk.
Yeah, Grishuk. Yeah, Grishuk. Yeah. So he's the extreme.
And then he plays perfectly with 5 minutes on the clock. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
it's kind of unique.
Yeah. So he's like my we have that in common, I guess. Are there any other famous players who get into time trouble like that? Even from the past, do we know? Well, in the past they had so much time, and
yeah, in the past they had
2 days.
Time choice, you went moving basically.
Yeah.
I can't recall anyone in particular. I know Anand played really fast.
Yeah.
And that he's very well known for that. Like instantly.
Yeah. There's that famous game. I forget who he was playing. Was it Kasparov? The famous game where he spends like 3 minutes or 2 or 3 minutes on the first move in blitz.
Oh, I know. I didn't know that. 3 minutes on first move.
It's a
and then
very, very
what,
famous. There's a
just makes
video.
it
I'll
harder.
send it to you. There's a video.
Yeah, I have to see that.
Yeah, it's from
And
like 1992 or something, and I think he was playing Kasparov. Oh no, it wasn't Kasparov. It was somebody. It might have been Ilya Smurin. And yeah, he spends like 3 minutes on the. Wait, was it the first move? No, sorry, it wasn't the first move, but it was like move 4. It was like move 4, yeah, and it's a very famous video. And then he goes on to win, and that was blitz. That was, and I think there was no increment because I don't think there was increment. It was 5-0, I think. And then yeah,
Wow.
yeah, I'll send you that. You'll enjoy it. It's just a short little clip.
It's like he gave odds basically to Super Grandmaster.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, so he was Anand was famous for his speed chess skills. Yeah, as was Petrosian.
Yeah.
Apparently Petrosian was supposed to be like one of the top blitz players in the world.
Makes sense. I mean, all those intuitive players who are usually classified as intuitive players who don't need to calculate a lot to realize what's going on. Capablanca was also a monster at blitz. I mean, no one came even close during his time.
That would be
he
hard
destroyed everyone.
because with the clocks back then, not digital, hard to know how much time you have.
No, yeah, they had to hammer that clock. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, I played with those. Yeah, and you basically have to guess.
Yeah.
You know, you have around 2 minutes, 1 minute, who knows?
Yeah. Oh.
If you hit it hard enough, maybe the flag just falls.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I'm actually looking forward to really trying to focus on my time management, because it's such, as I say, for my own self-assessment, I think by far it's the main thing holding me back, at least in terms of online chess, like 10-minute games online, because I think there's so many games that have resulted in a loss because I'm just playing far too slowly. So so I won't see you next week.
Yeah, no, I think when it happens, go through it and no next week. So we'll be back on
the week after.
What's the
probably
date? 27th?
26. 26.
Yeah.
26, I think.
26.
Yeah.
26. Yeah.
And
okay.
I'll have I guess we can look at those
good luck
games.
in your tournament.
Yeah, thank you. I'll have 6 games to look at.
Yeah, you'll have a lot of new. Yeah. If you post, I'll be following. I don't know if you're going to make videos.
I will make videos, but they won't be up for a while. It takes me a long time to create them and edit them, so they probably won't be up. The first one won't be up for like a week until after I get back. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks again for your time, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Okay. So kind of interesting that nobody joined. There was nobody in the stream the whole time. Hopefully, I mean, that was live, but nobody stopped by. Very interesting. In any case, this will be up on YouTube, and I know people watch it when after the fact, after it's been broadcast live. I think that was a very important lesson. He didn't tell me anything I didn't already know, but it still helps to have an expert, a professional, tell you that you're playing way too slow. You speed up, especially on moves that really don't matter. It would be like if you're a boxer and you are you've got a boxing coach, and he tells you, put your hands up, right? Put your hands up. You keep dropping your hands when you're in the ring. Put your hands up to protect yourself. It's very simple advice, but if you don't follow it, if you keep dropping your hands, well, it's a big problem. So that's what I attribute to this. Like, I know that I'm playing too slow already, but it still helps to have somebody else drill that into you as well. Okay. So that's going to be it for me tonight. Hopefully some others have enjoyed this lesson as well. Thanks for watching. And